Yeah, this is a confusing one. What's up guys, I'm randomfrankp, and today we're gonna be reviewing the brand new Glorious Model 02 wireless gaming mouse. So this just dropped, I've had it for a few weeks now, I've been putting it to the test, gaming with it. Now while this is the first release from Glorious in the year 2023, this is not the second Model O we've seen from Glorious within the last 6 months. We'll go over it all in this review. So the first thing you'll notice when you get this in an unboxed is the new O2 Wireless is a complete redesign pretty much. Not in terms of shape, but for the physical features. We still have holes in the top and bottom of the shell unfortunately, but the left and right clicks are their own separate paddles. These redesigned main buttons are a part of like a 3-piece to the top shell, where you have your left paddle, a separate piece in the middle for the DPI and scroll wheel, and then the right paddle. On the original Model O, it was just split into 2. This also features much deeper grooves to left and right clicks, so your fingers can sit in there nicely. Very similar to like the Viper design. That's like one of the first things that I noticed right away was those nice grooves now for your fingertips. And the coating we have now to the mouse is slightly more textured and grippy, versus on the original Model O it felt a lot more smooth, and there was pretty much no texture. Inside the box you get nothing special. Braided cable, your dongle and the attachment for that, stickers and documentation sure, but no additional feet, unfortunately, no grips either. Glorious also moved their massive branding. We no longer have the glorious bearded Odin on the left side, that's now right below the scroll wheel and DPI button. So it's not as big, but it's on the top of the mouse now. And we do have more text on the right side. Not big deals, but figured I'd still bring it up. So while personally, I don't really like the design of the O2, I don't know, it just looks outdated to me. I will say though, it feels a lot better in the hand when you're using it and holding it. And obviously how it feels is way more important than how it looks. Speaking of how it looks, let's trip you out a bit with these holes in the shell. So we no longer have the honeycomb cutouts. They are now just numerous round puncture wounds, ranging in different sizes to the contour of the mouse. And man, if the honeycomb triggered you, I think this is personally worse. These holes are like the definition of trypophobia. But in terms of shape and dimensions, it's practically the same. It's that super friendly ambi design with the left side buttons. But yes, compared to the original Model O, it is about 1mm wider in the middle of the body, 2mm shorter overall, and the scroll wheel does sit about 6mm higher now, but it's that same familiar ambi shape in the hand that you're used to with this Model O design. And as you can see, we still do have the RGB light strips on each side, but there's no longer RGB in the scroll wheel. But I feel like we don't even need RGB at all, which could have helped cut down on some of the weight, which is my next topic. Moving on, this mouse is advertised at an ultra light, they say 68 grams. It does tip my scale at 67.5, but wouldn't call that ultra light. So would I still consider that lightweight? Yes. Does it make any sense whatsoever? No, not at all. The original Model O Wireless was what, 69, 70 grams? Then a few months ago, we had the Model O Pro come out, really out of left field, that was 55 grams. And even though it's technically not the same shape, we had the Series 1 Pro, which was 49, 50 grams. They didn't have holes in their shell, this does. And you're telling me now it's over 15 grams heavier? It's just super confusing. Now, granted the Pro and Series O Pro is from their one-off custom forged lineup, so they're limited drops, which is a bummer, because I didn't even get to check out the Series 1, unfortunately. I was looking forward to that. But it's like, we know you can make a lighter mouse. You already did. So why isn't this? And we do have brand new switches, which are an upgrade from the Kale 8.0s they've been using. They are their custom Glorious switches. Unfortunately, there's no like specs out there on these custom switches, but they are a collaboration with Kale. Maybe like an updated, binned, recolored Kale 8.0. But yeah, no official specs or anything, unfortunately. We will do a sound test so you could hear how this mouse sounds. So sure, nice crisp clicks, nothing too groundbreaking really. Stability wise, no squeaking, all feels good. However, one of the things I noticed is there is a fair bit of play to the left and right clicks. That slight horizontal wobble. Now, you don't notice this while you're gaming. You only really notice if you purposely sort of pinch in like I was doing. That's how you notice the paddle shift there. Did it negatively impact my gaming? No. Did I notice it while gaming? No. Did I notice it while testing it? Because that's what people do in the mouse community. They put it through all these different, flex and push tests. Yeah. But honestly, during gaming, that shift was not noticeable. So let's talk about gaming. And they're using a brand new sensor here, their BAMF 2.0, which is an upgrade from their previous BAMF sensor. This now features a 650 IPS tracking rating over the typical 450 IPS. It ranges from 100 to 26,000 DPI, still just 1,000 Hertz polling rate though, no 4K yet. So for testing and gaming, this was plugged in with their 2.4 gigahertz dongle. I did not use it with Bluetooth because I simply just have no use or need for Bluetooth. But one of the advantages now the sensor brings is the massively increased battery life. They claim 210 hours on a single charge over Bluetooth. With the 2.4 gigahertz dongle, you can get around 110 hours, they say. Battery life will obviously vary then depending on your RGB, but that is definitely the biggest upgrade to the sensor, is that increased and improved really power consumption. And for its overall performance, I personally had no issues. I know there have been some reports out there, I guess, of like the current software for people who got like review units early and stuff that was causing some like lag or stutter, but my unit felt just fine. We also still have their same 100% pure PTFE feet, so nice and smooth. I usually game at around 800 DPI for my mix of like a palm and claw grip hybrid sort of. I feel like it all depends on what I'm doing in game. But just due to the size and the weight still, I wouldn't recommend this as a fingertip mouse, unless you've got some Slenderman hands. And again, while I may not like the way it looks, it definitely feels good in the hand to use. So it's been all good. But that also brings me to the next point that, I do feel it is noticeable to use in the hand versus what I'm used to, which has been the Pulsar X2 Mini at around 58 grams and the 49 gram Razer Viper Mini Signature Edition. Now again, while it's not heavy by any means, the weight here is noticeable over the other lighter current mice out there. End of story. All right, wrapping this up, bringing it all together, bear with me. At the end of the day, I am super confused on where this mouse stands in the current mouse market and really what Glorious is doing with this release. Okay, I'd argue their very own Model O Pro and the Series 1 Pro make this mouse completely irrelevant. Take a look at it, the big picture. Holes in the shell, nearly 70 grams, $100. Their very own Model O wireless has been fine for the last few years. Granted, it doesn't have the the latest and greatest switches and sensor we have in the new O2, but nearly 70 grams. Holes in the shell, launched for what was it, 80 or 90, often can be found for 60. The current competitors in the market, is this gonna outsell the Razer Viper V2 Pro? Not at all. That's got optical switches, way better tech in their sensor. It's way lighter than this as well, no holes in the shell. The Pulsar X2 Mini, another mouse I've been loving recently, super, super lightweight. This just seems like it should have been released 2 years ago. Not in 2023, not after their very own numerous releases with the Model O Pro and the Series 1 Pro. So yeah. For $100, do I recommend this mouse? No. There's just so many better options out there currently, even from Glorious. So guys, that'll wrap it up for my review of the Glorious Model O2 wireless. Hope you all enjoyed, and drop your comments down below. Are you in the same boat as me? Am I completely, wrong here? Want to hear your thoughts. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And lastly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a good day.